Okay, let's jump right into this because today we are unpacking one of the most chilling, century-old mysteries on record. Welcome to The Explainer. We're going to do a deep dive into a breathtaking landscape that actually conceals a deeply terrifying secret. You see, we're exploring exactly why Blackwood Forest hides secrets that have completely baffled people for generations. And we're going to do it by breaking down the incredible and honestly terrifying story of a recent expedition by a documentary filmmaker. So grab your gear because we're heading straight into the unknown. To really understand why this forest is so incredibly deceiving, you've got to picture its sheer cinematic beauty first. I mean, imagine a drone camera gliding effortlessly through this sea of golden clouds stretching endlessly across the horizon. You've got towering snow-covered mountains popping out of the mist bathed in that perfect warm morning light. Crystal clear rivers sparking like silver ribbons weaving through these deep green valleys. Huge waterfalls thundering into hidden lakes, eagles soaring through the untouched mountain air. It is literally a world completely unbothered by modern civilization. Everything feels peaceful. It feels alive and absolutely breathtaking. But then, the atmosphere just abruptly changes. That warm feeling totally fades into this unsettling low hum as you approach a much darker reality hidden within the trees.
It's a real jarring duality, right? You have this untouched paradise that immediately gives way to what we can call a dark zone. The second you cross into this darker section, it's like a switch flips. The sunlight visibly weakens. The air instantly grows freezing cold. And those birds that were just soaring and singing, they stop entirely. Total dead silence. You start seeing thick mist crawling between these ancient trees with twisted branches that literally block out almost every single ray of light. It's this heavy, unsettling environment. Honestly, it's so oppressive that even a mechanical drone seems to hesitate in the air, almost like it senses something is fundamentally wrong down below.
And hidden beneath those twisted trees, you find these hauntingly mundane artifacts, just frozen in time. An abandoned campsite. There's a tent standing perfectly intact, like completely untouched by the wind. Right next to it is a campfire that's been reduced to cold gray ash. Resting against a fallen log is an open backpack, but all the food and supplies inside still neatly packed, totally untouched. And maybe the creepiest detail of the whole shebang, a camera just sitting on the ground, its little red recording light still blinking weakly after all this time. This right here perfectly captures why this mystery is so profound. Whatever happened in this spot was incredibly sudden, and it left absolutely zero signs of a struggle. Actually, the most crucial point really comes down to a single number, 0. There were 0 footprints leading away from that camp, 0 signs of an animal attack, and absolutely 0 trace of the people who once stood there. The only clue is this one thing captured in the blink of an eye on that camera. For one brief, terrifying second, a shadow just appears between the trees before disappearing without a single sound.
So let's get into part 1, the call to the forest.
Meet our protagonist. He's a documentary filmmaker named Arjun, and he receives a highly unusual package at his apartment hundreds of kilometers away from the forest. Inside is an old photograph showing 5 smiling hikers standing right at the entrance of Blackwood. But when Arjun turns the photo over, he finds this incredibly chilling message written in faded ink. It reads, "Find us before the forest forgets us." I mean, wow! It's a direct plea reaching out from the darkness of the forest straight into Arjun's hands.
But get this, the photograph wasn't the only thing in the package. Right beneath it was an antique brass compass. And this is where things get truly bizarre. This compass does not behave like a normal magnetic instrument. The needle spins wildly, just completely out of control. That is until Arjun physically touches it. The exact moment his finger makes contact, the needle snaps and points steadily directly toward true north. This impossible artifact is our first major clue as to exactly why the forest behaves the way it does. We're talking about a massive magnetic anomaly here, hinting at forces far beyond normal geology. This compass is the ultimate catalyst that pushes Arjun to dive deep into forgotten archives, absolutely determined to uncover the truth.
Which brings us to part 2, a century without a trace. You see that single disappeared group from the photograph? That is just the tip of a massive, terrifying iceberg. If we look back 100 years ago, explorers and scientists first began to vanish within Blackwood without any logical explanation. Fast forward to 50 years ago, and we see hikers and photographers continuing this exact same terrifying pattern. Over decades of extensive searches, rescue teams consistently found the exact same things: abandoned camps, climbing equipment, cameras left behind. But they never found a single body. Not one. And in the present day, The very few survivors who actually made it out all share the exact same impossible feeling. They all reported that while they were in the forest, they were never alone. For decades, most people just dismiss these survivor stories, blaming it on exhaustion, fear, or just an overactive imagination.
But there are some folks who know better. Arjun actually manages to speak with an elderly villager who lives near Blackwood, and this man gives him a warning that literally no one else dares to speak aloud. He whispers, "The forest doesn't kill people, it keeps them." Now that is a chilling glimpse into the why. It's this idea that the forest itself is a living, predatory entity. It's not just some place where unlucky people get lost. It's a place that actively holds on to them.
Moving on to part 3, crossing the dark threshold.
Now, despite these really grim warnings, Arjun just can't walk away. So he packs his essentials. We're talking camera gear, his drone, climbing equipment, a satellite phone, and his journal. Long before sunrise, he's driving up this winding mountain road. And as the environment around his car grows increasingly eerie and isolated, the car radio slowly fades out into just dead static. Finally, he arrives at the weathered entrance of Blackwood Forest.
And standing right there at the entrance is this ominous wooden sign, barely held together by rusted nails. Carved into the wood are 5 simple words: "Do not enter after sunset." Now, what's fascinating here is Arjun's reaction. He actually smiles. He totally brushes it off, just assuming it's merely an old legend meant to scare away the tourists. He completely underestimates the reality of the environment he's about to step into.
So Arjun decides to get an aerial view right off the bat. He launches his drone into the clear morning sky, completely unaware that this specific flight is about to change his life forever. The drone climbs high above the endless green canopy. Everything looks totally fine until, suddenly, the live video feed on his controller flickers with this violent, aggressive static. When the picture finally returns through the static, it captures an impossible discovery. Deep beneath the twisted trees, completely hidden from the outside world, is a massive, ancient stone staircase. And at the very top of that staircase, a lone figure is standing completely still. But then, the figure slowly turns its head and it looks directly into the drone's lens. The forest isn't just a place. It's watching him back.
Which leaves us with the ultimate terrifying question. What exactly is waiting at the top of those stone stairs, and will the forest keep Arjun too? We've seen exactly why Blackwood hides its secrets, masking a living, predatory nature behind this veil of stunning natural beauty, just waiting to trap those who seek answers. So will Arjun break a century-old curse, or is he just going to become another abandoned camera and an open backpack in the freezing mist? Definitely think about that the next time you step into the woods, and ask yourself, are you truly alone? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep your curiosity alive.